Let's bring our friend in Tone for the segment. Can't win.
Hey man, one way to find out. One way to find out. You said a lot in that first segment, so I can't wait to have this conversation.
Tell me what stuck out to you.
All right, let's start with the what you deem to call not a domination in the NFC chip game. So let's really go over that, right? So
sure.
All right, let's go through it. So you knock out the starting quarterback.
Defense.
No, it doesn't matter. They're all on the same team. They don't wear different colored jerseys. You knock out the starting quarterback.
Correct.
You knock out their backup quarterback.
Okay.
You hold them to under 175 yards of total offense,
which is expected.
You hold. It doesn't matter. It's a part of the game. You always say it's a football,
right.
It's a
so far
play.
You're talking all defense.
It's the team. It's the team.
Okay. Like my point was in the first hour was you didn't dominate them offensively.
It doesn't matter. Like
we're talking two different things then.
The defense didn't score any points. The offense scored the points.
Okay.
So you beat them 31-7, not 31-14, not 31-27, not 31-23.
Held you to your lowest offensive output all year long, ran 80 plays, and the only thing you did on short fields was get 31 points.
It happens. The Eagles.
You give the 49ers on Sunday 80 plays, they'll put 40 on you.
That's today, but I'm addressing that day.
Okay, yeah. Well, I don't think you dominated them. I think your defense dominated them, like I said.
I think the Philadelphia Eagles dominated the 49ers. Okay. You can split hairs how you want.
No. That's why I qualified it, Tone, by saying that was a defensive game, not an offensive game. You did nothing in it.
It's the NFL. Okay. Defensive games happen.
Well, you're tying that all in then. And then I'll tie this all in. That football team that you have on defense is one of the worst units in the league now.
Yes,
over the last 3 weeks.
That is very true.
Over the last 4 weeks, you've given up 430 yards in total offense as an average. You think, and the last 2 weeks, you've given up 170 rushing. Where are you slowing this team down?
Hey, listen, man. At the end of the day, you got to lace them up and play. They got to play at the end of the day. Every number you mentioned, I have no retort for that. The Eagles, one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL. The Eagles, one of the worst third down defenses in the NFL. You ain't say a word that was inaccurate or wrong or off base. Your logic is totally spot on. Totally spot on. But I think they can win the game.
How about this, Tone? Do you think that Hassan Reddick was the MVP for the entirety of the playoffs? And what I mean by that, the 3 games that they played, the divisional game, the NFC title, and the Super Bowl. I didn't think he was horrible in the Super Bowl. Okay.
Well, and the thing is, the Super Bowl is strange because I don't like making excuses for guys, but they didn't get home that one time, and they couldn't stop the run. So it's kind of hard to say he played well. But again, one part of me could say, well, the field, right? But then now it sounds like I'm making excuses, so I don't want to do that. The fact of the matter is, he didn't get a sack, and they gave up over 150 rushing yards. So it's hard for me to say he played well in that game.
So you think the Eagle offense dominated the 49er offense in the NFC title game?
I believe the Philadelphia Eagles dominated the San Francisco 49ers.
No.
31-7.
I asked you, do you think offense dominated?
I'll answer. 31-7 indicates the offense dominated the game. Now, the defense set the offense up without a shadow of a doubt. It's called complementary football. You played it, right? You know how it works. Some days your offense got it, some days your defense got it. But guess what? When they work together, the scoreboard is a scoreboard, 31-7. We can slice it up any which way we want. Hey, listen, some people like the crust off their peanut butter and jelly. Some people like the crust. However you want to slice the pie, it doesn't matter.
I eat the crust. I'm not
I eat the crust too. But you can slice it how you want. The bottom line is the offense put up 31 points with what they were given. The offense couldn't, as a matter of fact, I'll put it to you this way. The San Francisco
didn't do shit in that game.
The San Francisco 49ers defense, they could have stopped them. That defense that was getting all that love that year.
Stop them on short fields.
They were supposed to be the best defense in the league, were they not? They were supposed to be that. It wasn't 14-3. Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't 14-7. It wasn't 17-7.
Offensive output of the year.
It was 31-7, Sills. Not 14-7. Not 20. I can understand if you said 20-7.
Okay, listen. I can't really dispute
31-7
because I can't move the chains on the scoreboard.
You know what I mean? Like
hey, don't. I can't move the chains on the scoreboard. Okay,
I can understand if the defense had 2 pick sixes and all that kind of stuff, a scoop and score. That didn't happen. The defense created the defense opened it up. The offense closed the door. I mean,
okay,
I
Nathan,
don't know what you want.
Let's go to new news. Tone takes a shit on Brock Purdy here. So let me. He goes like this. I don't see it. I don't see it. But yet he saw it with Hurts after 15 games.
I'm glad you said that. I'm so glad you're going there. Let's do this.
Okay.
I'm so glad you're going there. Let's do this.
Brock Purdy 13-3 as a starter.
Yep.
This year he's on pace for 29 touchdowns, 9 picks, 112.3 quarterback rating, 70% completion percentage, 44-37. And Hurts' first 15 as a starter. Look at this. This guy had 432 attempts. This guy had 471. 475 in 16 games. Here's the 16 game total. 475 attempts. Hurts had 432. He completed 368 in 16 games so far. Sunday will be his 17th NFL game. Hurts in 2021 had 265 completions at a 61.3 completion percentage. Purdy 69-1 in 16 games. In 16 games, he's 42-45. He almost has 1,100 more yards. He's doubled them almost in touchdowns, 32-16. And his rating is higher.
Yep.
How come you don't give that guy the same kudos that you gave Jalen Hurts?
You want to know? You
kudos.
You want to know why? Let's break it down, okay? I'm so glad we're here. We're having fun today. All right, let's do this, right? Brock Purdy, when he came into the league, or when he came into his position with the 49ers, he inherits Kyle Shanahan, DeMeco Ryan as a D coordinator. He also inherits Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk. They traded for Christian McCaffrey. Well, as a matter of fact, you can say he inherited Christian McCaffrey because when they got him, he started playing. He inherited Christian McCaffrey. He inherited that vaunted defense.
Okay.
He inherited that entire package, that entire care package of success.
Okay.
Right?
So when they had
hold on, let me finish. You got to let me finish.
Year.
Yeah, you asked me a question. You asked me a question. Let's do this. Remember, you said their first 15 games starting, right? You said that. Remember you said that. You said that.
I did.
Their first 15 games starting, right? So I mentioned all the things I mentioned. Brock Purdy inherited that entire care package, ready made for success. A coach with a tried and true formula. Now,
did he start before McCaffrey got there, or did he start after McCaffrey? Did Garoppolo? I think he started. I think McCaffrey got there and then he started because isn't it right that McCaffrey got there for the Denver game, and then I think Garoppolo got hurt. And Trey got hurt, so I think McCaffrey was there when he started starting.
So McCaffrey, if
I'm not mistaken,
McCaffrey
so he did
got
inherit.
there. McCaffrey got there.
It was the Denver game.
No, it wasn't the Denver game. McCaffrey got there the week of the Chiefs loss. They lost that game 44-23, and then he started his first game against the Rams, and they won every game since then.
Okay.
Every game since then. Brock Purdy, let me make sure I got this right because I want to make sure we're discussing this accurately. Brock Purdy, on the other hand, Brock Purdy, I'm pulling it up right now, his game log. Brock Purdy's first start in 2022 came against the Carolina Panthers. So the week prior to. So
prior to, okay.
Yeah. His first start was the Carolina Panthers, October 9th. They won that game, 37-15. His second start, Kansas City Chiefs, they lost 44-23. In between then, they traded for Christian McCaffrey. Okay. So they traded for Christian McCaffrey after his first win.
Okay.
And then they lost, and then at that point, they took off from there. So again, let's not get away from the point, right? Brock Purdy inherited this amazing care package of talent and coaches, right?
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts, first year starting. Remember, you said first 15 games in their career. Jalen Hurts inherits a rookie coach in Nick Sirianni, a rookie OC and Shane Steichen, a rookie D coordinator and Jonathan Gannon. On top of that, you mean to tell me now they did draft Devontae Smith, but again, a rookie.
And still had the best O-line in football.
O-line coming off of a 4-11-1 team that everyone was calling old and ready to write off. Remember, listen, the narrative matters. The context matters. That was the year they came up 4-11-1. Everybody wrote off that offensive line saying they were old and done. Everybody said that.
Boy, Tone, you really have
not finished,
opened my eyes more here now because
I'm not finished though. Hold on. So you got Devontae. Devontae Smith as a rookie.
I love it.
You got Devontae Smith as a rookie. You got Dallas Goedert, but then Quez Watkins, Jalen Reagor, Kenny Gainwell, old and tattered Zach Ertz, and Miles Sanders, who can't get out of his own way. You're comparing that to Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, Kyle Shanahan, that whole package. You're comparing those two. Now let me get the Jalen Hurts' stats in the midst of all that.
For the 7th rounder, last pick in the draft,
and let me throw in Jalen Hurts' stats in comparison to. Right, so you have Brock Purdy stats in front of you. So hold on to that.
This is the last pick in the NFL draft.
Jalen Hurts' first year as a starter, new coach, new everything. First year as a starter, puts up just over 3,900 yards of total offense. He puts up 26 touchdowns total. Remember, he's a dual threat quarterback, so we have to talk about him as such. We can't pick and choose what stats we want to acknowledge. 26 total touchdowns in his first 15 starts. 10 turnovers. 9 interceptions, 1 fumble loss. Went 9-8, got the team to the playoffs, coming off of a 4-11-1 season. So my point is this, right? If we're going to talk about their careers and what each player had to overcome, we got to talk about it.
We're going to talk about the last player.
You put Brock Purdy, and if they swap situations, we got to keep it 100.
Okay, here. You're telling me then Hurts wouldn't have been shit if they didn't add all them pieces.
Say it again.
Well, Hurts is taking off because you've added AJ, Devontae.
Exactly. Yeah, it's called.
You got it.
Exactly.
So he's taking off because of the same way.
It's called developing your talent.
Taking off.
It's called developing your talent.
What's the difference?
What do you mean? What's the difference? You're comparing their first 15
starts.
They got
the same talent. One guy's playing just as well as the other guy.
Remember, you said this. You compared their first 15 starts.
No, I got it. But Jalen Hurts, when he didn't have all those pieces around him, those were marginal numbers. 31, 44, 16 and 9, 61 completion percentage. You're not winning shit with that.
3,900 in his first year starting.
You were 9-8. He got blown out in the playoff game.
He got to the playoffs. He showed you his floor. He won
a playoff game against Dallas.
What do you mean?
Purdy won a playoff game last year versus Dallas.
Yes,
the last
he did.
pick in the draft won a playoff game.
We know Kyle Shanahan could turn lemon limes into lemonade. Let's not do this. Let's not do this.
You don't really have a lot of respect for this guy, do you?
No, here's the thing. I actually do. But the way you frame the conversation makes me knock him down a peg. I actually do have respect for him. I had to remind people that at the end of the day, you said it yourself, situations matter. Where you go matters. You know, when you remember, I'm producing your show. I'm listening to you a lot.
Hey, wait a minute now. I will give you this on this. I will totally give you this. If Brock Purdy goes to the Jets, it's over.
If he went to the Jags, it's over. Okay. Like, I don't mean no disrespect. And again, I'm not trying to disrespect the kid. I'm really not. But the fact of the matter is, where you go matters. The situation you inherit matters.
Do you think it mattered for Hurts?
Yeah, because here's the thing. When you added A.J. Brown, right? When you added all those pieces, you draft Devontae Smith. When you do that, you're trying to cultivate the talent. You're trying to find out how good is this guy, because we've seen people with talent do nothing. We've seen that.
Let's do this. How do you think Jalen would be without A.J. Brown? Well, you know what? I can't do that. I saw him without Lane. I'm not doing that. Okay? I'm not doing that because I saw him win. I don't think Purdy can win without Trent.
We've seen it.
Okay? Doesn't our defensive scheme match up well with Purdy because he throws to a spot based off of timing? I just think here's why you don't. Well, here, let me throw this at you, Tom. What do you think is an easier offense By the way, I love your debate.
Oh yeah, of course, we're having fun. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I like this.
What do you think is a better defense or better offense and a harder offense to scheme? The Bills or the Niners?
The Niners. They have too many things. They have so many moving parts. I think the Niners is hard to scheme because of the players I mentioned: George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Debo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey. You literally have guys that can. You have home run hitters everywhere. You have home run hitters everywhere.
How do you cover all those guys with limited people? Because you're going to have – see, here, who has to be more creative on Sunday to get this one? Tony, I want you to – look.
Sean Desai has to be the most creative. He has to be most creative.
I want to let you know one more time.
Yeah.
I don't think you're not going to win this game because me and Michael Irvin were talking about it. It's just insane
it's
where
an
you
uphill
are.
battle. It's an uphill battle. I get it.
It's insane where you are right now, what you're doing.
Improbable.
Hey, and I get it, man. There's an intangible. Dude, you're 10-1 because of the kid. You're 10-1 because of Jalen Hurts. No reason.
And that's why I can't bet against them. That's why I can't.
To a slow start, you'll get beat.
I'm with you on that. I'm totally. You know, it's so funny. Everything that you've mentioned, right? You know, about the slow start and everything. I'm with you 100%. You know, the thing is, though, I agree with you in like everything you said. The only part we disagree on is I think they win, though. That's literally the only part we disagree on because you're right.
What's the advantage they have?
Home. They're home. I'll be honest
travel.
With you. I think the link is going to be insane on Sunday.
I do too.
But nonetheless, they're home. I actually think they have the weather on their side as well. Believe it or not.
Well, wait a minute.
I think it's supposed to rain.
They have the weather on their side when it comes to their run game, which, you know, and something I want to lead into this here with Tone. See, the one thing that I think it's going to be a problem for the Eagles this year in this game is because last year you nullified Fred Warner. You're not going to this year because you don't have the volume of RPOs. How many times did we see Fred Warner do this, waiting for him to make that decision? And it seemed that he was always playing from behind. Well, you're not running those volume of plays like that. He's going to be more of a factor in the run game.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. By
how many times you watch Fred and you went like this? Holy shit! Fred Warner looked like he was frozen in time.
Yeah, I think to your point, they haven't incorporated the RPO, especially in the first half of the season. They've been using it in spots. I think Jalen Hurts is getting healthier. Believe it or not, he ran a lot more. He's run a lot more these past couple weeks, especially in the second half of that Chiefs game and the second half of that Bills game. Now, to your point, I strongly believe if the Eagles get off to a slow start, this ain't the game that they're gonna come back from. I mentioned earlier in Sports Take, you were down 10 come out of the second half against the Chiefs. Okay, you won the game. You were down 10 points going into the fourth quarter. You still managed to win the game in overtime. What comes next? You lose by 10 points. You feel me? So this has been a steady progression of playing on the edge. They cannot, and I repeat, they cannot come out down 15, 14 points going into halftime. They can't. They will not win the game. I mentioned this to Rob. They need to be within 3 points, whether they're up or they're down. They need to be within 3 points of the 49ers at halftime. If they're down by 14 points or more, hell, even 13 or 10 points. I'll put you this way, if they're down by 2 possessions in the second half, it's going to be tough sledding.
Do you try rattling Purdy early, and do you bring pressure early, or do you situationally bring it? Because don't you want to see if this guy, because one of the things that I've noticed, if you go back and watch the Cleveland game, like I did, I went back last night and watched the Cleveland game, and I watched what Jim Schwartz did. He brought pressure and moved his ass around in the pocket, and that kind of created some indecision, and it made him not have to throw to spots like he likes,
apprehensive,
have to throw to an open receiver.
Right.
So to me, I think if you're going to get a shot in here, but I don't know you have a guy to do that with. Like, who's the guy you're bringing on pressure to try to get back there to Purdy? I'm like, who's the guy that does that? Are you going to see? To me, Tone, I would move Reddick around. I would move him like they do Micah Parsons around. I wouldn't just have him come off the weak side edge. Right. I would have him come in the middle of the line. I'd have him move around. And I would have him look for the mismatches like they used to do with Reggie. Just find a mismatch in there so that they can get some pressure, because I don't really think you have a guy in that huddle that can bring blitz pressure enough to be able to move them around enough to make him nervous, because they have way too many options. Look, when you're defending the Bills or you're defending Mahomes, there's not a lot of people you have to have personnel-wise to defend them. But when you're covering the Niners, like you said, your fourth guy, your fourth best cover guy could be on Kittle, could be on Ayuk.
Which is a mismatch, yeah.
Or McCaffrey.
Yeah.
It completely could be on that because they have so many options. That's why I say Purdy doesn't have to throw for 250 yards in this game. That's not what they're needing out of him. They need him to play clean, be effective, be 70% completion.
Be on time.
Be on time. Hey, and have a rhythm. They need to do all that. To me, I think you got to knock that guy off his spots. You got to jam the see, but again, they don't do that. They're going to play pitch and catch with those guys all night long.
They'll be fools.
The only way you win this game is red zone defense.
If I'm being honest with you, they'll be fools to sit back and allow him to just play pitch and catch. This is a game where you got to force the action. You cannot sit back there and be patient and expect him to make a mistake, because he won't. He won't. To your point, I really think they actually have to blitz. To your point, I think they should blitz early. Blitz early, force him off his spots. I agree with everything you said. Make him as uncomfortable as possible. Create a level of indecision, because I've
quick decision.
I've seen those games. I've watched those games that they lost. It's a common theme. They got to him early. They forced him. They created indecision. They slowed down his clock, or they sped up his clock. There's one interception he threw in that Vikings game, and the reason he threw it is because he was a second late. You create that, Brock Purdy can be had. Again, he's doing
Daniel Hunter got pressure on him in that game.
Yes. So I actually think you can't just send 5. I would send 6 early. First play of the game. I'm letting them know what time it is.
You know what I love what they did against Josh Allen on 3rd and long. They brought the house on him.
Yeah, now they got bit a couple times. Quite a few times actually, but
still. They made him throw a pick.
Right, you planting the seed.
That led to points.
Yeah. That was a beautiful trap coverage by Bradbury. He felt like he was going deep. He directed the safety to cover him over the top, and he came back down. He baited. That's exactly what they did. So again, I think this is a game where defensively you have to take risk early. I can understand if it's late and you feel like you don't want to, but you got to take risk early. At the end of the day, 1 touchdown is only 7 points. It's not. If they score once, it's not 30 points on you. So
and you have a quarterback that you see that can bring you out of danger and get you out of danger. Shit, didn't Jalen have a pick 6 this year and they came back? Was it a Cowboy game?
Miami game.
Cowboy game. They came back and they won the ball. Yeah. Again, Jalen Hurts is turnovers. I could care less about his turnovers this year.
Right.
I care about the 5 touchdowns. Do you understand, Tone, what I'm saying to you, that you guys keep talking? I mean, not just you, but all Philly media keep saying the Eagles haven't played their best game. They're never going to play their best game because you're never going to get the best coordinated game.
I'm glad you said that. I'm at a point where, for the most part, they are who
you said this 3 months ago. Maybe they are who they are.
Yeah. And pretty much, I pretty much accepted who they are defensively. Now, the only thing that can change is execution at this point. That's the only thing that can change. From a talent perspective, they are who they are. Now, can you execute better? Right? That's the best they can hang their hat on at this point in the season. No one's changing. No one's roster is changing. No one from a talent standpoint is changing. Can you out execute the opponent? Period. That's where the Eagles are right now, because they have the talent. In my opinion, I think the Eagles have the talent when like they say about the Niners, when fully healthy. If the Eagles are fully healthy, I think the Eagles can beat anybody in any 60-minute football game. That's just what I think. But obviously, they're not healthy this week, so they're facing a stiffer battle, a uphill battle. So
here's why they can't be efficient. When you're moving guys like Fletcher Cox out, Zach Cunningham out, and you're moving injured pieces out, Cam Jurgens, and you're moving pieces that are important to the essential continuity, and to have the continuity that you're looking for when it comes to rhythm, that's impossible.
It makes it much more difficult. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Skill set wise, I mean, like people go like this. Jack Driscoll played great. Wonderful. That's not Lane Johnson, dude.
I'll much rather have Lane.
It's like, well, he played really well. Well, really well is like a B, or I mean a C+ to Lane's A+.
Yeah,
That's quite a difference.
It's a difference. I'd rather have Lane out there regardless. I'd rather roll with Lane.
So when I heard people going, hey, Jack Driscoll played well, I'm like, dude, that's a C+ versus a Hall of Famer. That level of drop-off is gargantuan. Hey, played well. I'm like, so your entire right side in that game against Buffalo at one time was Cam Jurgens, Jack Driscoll, and some dude named Stolies, the liquor guy. I mean, that's who your right side was? Come on, man.
Stolies, that's funny, man. I like that. I like Jack Stolies.
I actually like that guy. I thought he made a big play in that game down the sideline.
Yeah, he did. He did. But yeah, man, look, the bottom line is, when it comes to Lane Johnson, right? And I think he's playing also. But when it comes to Lane Johnson, it's not just the talent you're missing. You're missing the experience. You're missing all the different pass rush moves that he's seen before. You know what I mean?
Plus, you talk about that guile in the huddle. Hey, Tone, when you're in a huddle with dudes, you know that stuff you're talking about with New Rockney and shit. It's a real thing. I'm not going to dismiss it because it is a real thing. When you're in the huddle and you look up,
you see Jack Stoll and you're missing Lane Johnson. It's not the same vibe.
You're looking over and you go, watch this. You're in that huddle and you see Lane and Kelsey and Mulata and Jalen, Brown, Devontae. I think Devontae's a tough guy. You look up in that huddle and you go like this, okay, this is a foxhole I'm in. I turn around and look at Jack Stoll,
Jalen Rager,
Cam Jurgens, Jack Driscoll, and whomever. I'm going like this. Holy shit, man. Where's the white flag, man?
but what you just said exactly. That's why Brock Purdy is fortunate to be where he is, because he looks up in that huddle and he sees. Hold on. That's why in those first 15 starts you mentioned, Brock Purdy is fortunate because he looks up and he sees Trent Williams, he sees Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey. Okay, all right, I can go to war with these guys. Jalen Hurts in those first 15 starts, he had Devontae Smith, he had Dallas Goedert, okay. Lane. But then you got Jalen Rager, Quez Watkins, like Kenny Gainwell. Like, come on, man, what are we doing?
Lane, Mulata, Dickerson. Come on now.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, who catches the ball? Who runs the ball? Right? We got to keep in mind.
So you're making a point then this guy can't play without them guys.
We saw it. He was missing one of them.
All right.
He was missing one of them.
You got that. Right.
He was missing one of them.
Hey, Tone. Okay, because I said that I will never use that against him again.
You know what I mean? All I'm saying is he was missing one of them.
Purdy's got it.
But he's good, though. He's good, though.
Don't you agree? You don't have to knock Purdy out. I'm going to make him. Hey, I didn't want to say this to everyone, but I'm going to say this. You knock Deebo Samuel out of that game, or you knock Ayuk out of the game, or Trent Williams gets injured.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm more worried
about. One of those guys go out, how do you think he plays?
Listen, I'm more worried about. Listen, Deebo's not having a good year at all. People don't want to talk about that, though, but he's not. I look more.
He's missed a lot of ball, though, dude.
He's missed. Hold on. Let's make sure we talk about it because we're not just going to say stuff and it's not accurate.
You are fighting for this game on Sunday,
dog.
I am.
You know I am. Okay,
you are fighting for this game.
Deebo. All right. So Brock Purdy played in 11 games. So the Niners have played in 11 games. Deebo played in 9. He only missed 2.
Okay, that's not bad.
He only missed 2. So again.
Oh, no, wait. What's his rushing?
I'm glad you said that too. His rushing yards on the season, Deebo only has 138 rushing yards.
How about receiving?
Receiving, 474.
Wow. Way down.
1 touchdown.
It's got to be Ayuk with the big numbers.
Ayuk, listen to this. Deebo Samuel and Ayuk, right? There's only an 11 catch difference. 11 catches. Ayuk has 45 catches, 881 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He's averaging almost 20 yards a catch.
That could be problematic.
That's going to be problematic, which is why I'm not putting.
Is McCaffrey at 38 catches, something like that?
McCaffrey has a grand total of 48 catches.
48.
And 389 receiving yards. But I put it to you like this, right? I'm not putting Bradbury on Ayuk. I'm putting Slay on Ayuk because he can keep up with him stride for stride. Bradbury has to guard Deebo Samuel. And that's the matchup we're all going to be watching because, you know, Bradbury.
The slower dude.
Say that again?
The slower dude.
The slower dude, exactly. The slower dude and the more physical guy. That's just how it's going to go. But again, for me, when I watch this game, I'm not looking at Deebo Samuel and Ayuk. Hear me out on this. I'm looking at Kittle and CMC. I think if those two get what they want, the Eagles have a very slim chance of winning this game because they're going to manipulate the part of the field that the Eagles are weakest the most, and that's the middle of the field. CMC is the engine. George Kittle is the coal.
You think that's the soft part of the zone of the Eagle defense is more the middle zone, not the deep zone with the safeties. It's more underneath. That guy Ferguson, dude, by the way, that guy Ferguson's turning out to be somebody in Dallas.
He's all right.
He's looking a lot better than I thought because I didn't think they had a guy there. And first game I saw him was against you guys, and I was like, okay. And I agree with you, Tone. I think the problem on that Eagle team, it was a problem last year covering tight ends. And it's even a bigger problem this year.
It still is, you know, and at the end of the day, whether Harry Roseman wants to accept it or not, you need some legit linebackers to at least do something with them safeties. I mean, do something with them tight ends. It just you can't overlook it, you know. But yet he still has. So the fact of the matter is, they have an uphill climb, and I want to always make it clear when I speak about this subject. The Eagles are the underdog for a reason. For a reason.
First time since 1974.
Hey, listen, man.
I was 10.
They had floor TVs in 1974. I ain't worried about that.
Right. So, you had them things where you put your hanger in the back and you were like looking to try to get UHF. There wasn't even cable TV back then.
What was it? What, 4 channels?
4 channels, man. And I'm watching Lawrence Welk. I mean, I'm watching Lawrence Welk and Hee Haw, and I hated both.
Man, yo, I want to talk to you about the MVP odds too, because you know now
it's over.
Hear me out. Remember,
it's over.
You guys always what do you and Philly Godfather always say? The house always wins, right?
Yeah.
So as of right now, the house has Jalen Hurts in the lead for the MVP voting. The house.
Yeah.
Right now.
Right.
Now,
where's
can
Dak?
it change? Now, can it? Oh, yeah, Dak is right there. He's behind him.
Where did he come from? Who did he play? What has he done?
Well, listen. If you ask the rest of the world, Dak Prescott been right there the whole time.
But no. What has he? Here's the problem.
I'm with you. He had a good game last night, though. He had a good game last night. Listen, I'm not going to slide him. He had a good game last night.
Okay, against a 6-6 Seattle team that you said, and looks like
I'm glad you said that.
You said a 5-game losing streak.
Thank you. I baited you on that one. I appreciate you for that.
This is like talking about a team that's ranked in college football at the beginning of the year 4th, and by the end of the year they're 4-8, and you're like, well, wait a minute, they weren't really 4th, and you're like, well, so why? I'm going to give you extra credit for a 6-6 Seahawks team?
Hey, I'm with you on that.
But he's second now with his. What was it? 299
and 3 passing touchdowns.
He was just so
wheeling and dealing
last night. That got to make Eagle guy just absolutely throw up when someone hears that bullshit. I listen to everyone. Oh, Dak 29 for 41, 299, 3 touchdowns, 25 yards of carrying the ball. Lamb was amazing. 12 catches, 116. What a game by Dak. Now he's second in the MVP voting, having played nobody. You guys has beat Tua. Dak. Dude, you beat Dak, and he got the Player of the Month award.
We beat him, and it pushed him further up the MVP ladder.
He's the Player of the Month, and he elevated in the MVP voting. Come on, Tone.
Listen, I'm with you 100%. This is why it's hard for me to take certain people seriously.
Actually, you can't take that voting serious.
Because how does a person put themselves second in MVP voting and they've only had one meaningful win.
And the guy beat you.
Or one win of value.
Look at what they did, Tone. They gave him a championship belt for the month, having lost to the champ.
Listen, man.
Talk
about
you're still
the
champ. No, I got beat by the champ. That's okay. We still think you're the champ.
Hey, listen, you're still good.
I just got knocked out by him. That's all right. We think you're the champ anyway. What?
Do you think if he was playing the exact same way, but he was in, I don't know, Chicago or something, do you think he'll be MVP? If he's playing the exact same way?
How about this one? If Jalen Hurts is starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, God forbid.
Oh my God. They would have called that man God. They would have called that man God.
Jordan.
What? They would have been comparing him to everybody under the sun. They would have said, "Yo, there's no better winner than Wilt." Like what? Like, come on, man. You gotta relax, man.
Like, hey, man, this guy's Bill Russell and Wilt all in one.
Listen, imagine Brock Purdy in Dallas.
Oh God, and being white, shit.
They would have said the Great White Hope.
Holy God, they'd be calling the next stallback.
Yeah, you're right. They'd be calling it. They'd be like, he's better than Romo.
Guys,
he's better. He's better than Aikman.
You know what? Here would be the narrative if Purdy was in Dallas. It'd be the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones finds a gem like Belichick found Tom Brady in the 6th. They find Purdy in the 7th. Nobody gave him anything except the Cowboys and the evaluation of Jerry Jones. Jerry elevated him. Now look at him. He is winning games at a clip you've never seen. By the way, he is actually 13-3.
No,
I know you shit on that.
Very well.
I know you shit on that.
He's doing well. He's doing well. He's doing well.
He's doing well.
He's doing well.
Wait a minute. Hey, 49er people and Cowboy people in your eyes, these all right.
They're doing well. You know, they're doing what they're supposed to do. See, I can't get mad at a dog for barking. You know what I mean? Like they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to campaign for their guys. They're supposed to, jump out the window for Dak's meaningless stats. I get it.
Hell, see the little ad in there. But I'll tell you what the Cowboys are doing. They're doing two things that kind of, one that they don't do what the Eagles do, and one they do. They're kicking the shit out of shitty teams, but they're losing to good teams. Mm-hmm. And the Eagles beat the good teams and kill the shitty teams. Okay? And that's been a theme, and that's why, Tone, again, you can't do what you're doing on Sunday. You can't. I don't believe it. This would be a real life Rocky win.
I understand.
Music played Monday.
I completely understand.
I want the Rocky music played Monday. If that thing goes down like that.
Well, listen, I don't want to get the show copyrighted, so I don't want it to get knocked off YouTube.
I forgot about that.
But to your point though.
Okay, I'll sing it.
I understand. I completely understand why you feel the way you feel, my friend. And I do not dispute why you should feel the way you feel.
I still think you're better though.
No, and I believe you believe that too.
I completely,
you know what I mean? So I completely understand you. I'm not going to jump out the window like some people in the chat and just kill you. What you're saying makes sense. But let's be honest, when you watch Rocky, it never makes sense. It just is. It just happens.
No.
You know what I mean? So, it's
hey, okay, so wait a minute now. Somebody made a great point.
Yeah.
To counter my point. By next Sunday, you could be a wild card team.
Possible.
But by next Sunday, you could clinch the #1 overall seed.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing too, right? I'll even take it a step further. The Philadelphia Eagles have more room for error than the other teams.
You know what's funny?
If the Niners and the Cowboys want the #1 seed, they can't lose another game.
How about
they can't?
Tone, they don't have any room. Listen what they've done for themselves this year. I see you, brotherly. Hey, guess what they have done for themselves? They have no margin of error in the games, but they have margin of error on the schedule. What would you rather have?
I'd rather have the latter.
Me too.
I'd rather have the latter. I understand. You know, so crazy too, right? Real quick, let me add this in, right?
They have built more with all these close games and close wins.
Right.
They built more latitude and gave themselves more room for error.
But no one respects it though, because of how it looks. Listen to this, right? Last year.
No,
but listen though. Last year, listen to this, right? You know what
I know you don't care about that.
Of course I don't. Of course I don't. I care about W's and L's. W's and L's get you in the club, and W's and L's get you kicked out of the club. So what I'm saying is this, right? Last year, what was the narrative? Well, they haven't beaten anybody, or they haven't been in any close games. They haven't been tested. You know, are they capable of coming back if they have to? All those different things that really didn't matter at the end of the day. But some people say it mattered in the Super Bowl. Fair enough, right? Because we weren't tested, not at all leading up to that. I respect that, right? So now, the following season, you come off a Super Bowl loss, you lose about 3 points. You have the toughest schedule in the NFL that everybody claimed it to be. You're going through the toughest stretch in football that everybody claimed it to be, right? You're winning your games. You're now 10-1, but also you're winning your games kind of close, right? You lost all these players on defense in the offseason. You lost a couple guys on offense in the offseason, right? You lost your OC, your DC. You know what I mean? You had so much turnover on your roster and in your coaching staff. You lost your linebacker coach. You lost your DB coach, right? You lost a bunch of different guys. Yet they're still 10-1 on a tougher schedule. They're beating teams. Sure, it's closer. Sure, the margin of error is slimmer, but they're winning the games. So what's the excuse now?
They're more impressive this year than they were a year ago.
You know what they're saying now? You know what they're saying now? They're saying, well, they haven't blown anybody. They haven't blown anybody out yet. What?
LJ, you're right, LJ. Because of conference losses, the Eagles would only have 2 conference losses, and the Cowboys would have 3. So you're right. I wanted to just hit that.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, but great pull, LJ. Great pull.
Yeah, because then he's right. The losses would be, if they lose to the Cowboys and the Niners, the losses would be the same, but they'd only have 2 losses in the NFC.
Right, exactly. So
because they lost to the Jets.
Right. So for me, it's just like, why when it comes to the Eagles, they stay moving the goalposts. Well, you didn't have a close game last year. How battle tested are you this year? Okay, you haven't blown anybody out. Too many close games. What more do you want from me?
How about this, Tone? They lose that game Sunday. Do they call you frauds on Monday?
They'll try to. They'll try to.
No.
They'll try.
Yeah, they'll try.
Yeah, they'll try.
I don't. And by the way, hey, I don't. I do not subscribe to that. There's nothing fraudulent about that organization.
See,
Howie's bullshit and Nick stuff. That's different. There's nothing fraudulent about the way they win games and the way they play games and the way they fight for games and the way they are there for games every single game. I've never seen them not show up. I've seen teams, and it's maybe that's the common thing here, Tone, that's just not really normal, is that I see teams 1 week, you just go like this. Damn, what the hell happened? That team just fell off. Like when the Jacks got blown out by the Niners, I was really disappointed.
Disappointed.
It shocked me they got crushed like that.
Yeah, if they would have lost like 38-35, I'm like, okay, but it legitimately.
Or how about when Detroit got crushed by the Ravens?
Yeah, another example. It truly shocked. See, here's the thing, right? When people say, well, they're beating all these teams by slim margins, I would be like, okay, I would understand your point if they were only beating the bad teams by slim margins, and then all of a sudden when they face a good team, they lose. I would understand you at that point. But they've been so consistent in terms of how they're winning games this year, no matter if it's a great team, a mediocre team, or a terrible team.
What does that tell you?
They've been consistent.
What does that tell you, though?
Everybody gets the same ass whooping. It'll make a difference.
Okay.
I bring the same belt.
Here's what it tells me. There's 2 things. The Eagles don't lower their standards, and the bad teams raise their standards.
I like that.
Okay. And that's why you get a Super Bowl every Sunday from the opposing team.
Look, man, every team.
The shitty team. You think that, do we agree that the Jets' best game, it ain't Buffalo. It's beating Philly.
I would agree. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Beating Buffalo, they're 6-6.
I would agree with that for sure.
Beat a 10-1. Dude, that win probably saves Robert Saleh his job.
Listen, that win brought Zach Wilson like 3 more weeks, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4 more weeks. So, you know, the fact of the matter is, look, I've realized this already. When it comes to the Eagles, they're going to constantly change the rules. You know, they're going to constantly move the goalposts. It's okay though. I've accepted it at this point. Now I'm just trying to win games. I'm done. I'm done with them trying to impress people now. Just win the game.
All right, let me ask you this. Okay.
Yeah.
On the crazy circumstance, they win this game Sunday. Hey, you hear that? Oh man, I love this, man. Hey, what is the key in your opinion on how they have to play this game? I don't think, like you said, the thing we said earlier, they can't allow San Francisco to get a fast start. If they're not going to be a fast start, you can't let San Francisco, because San Francisco in the Jags game and in the Cowboy game, they got off to great starts.
Fast,
the first half, and they put those teams away early. Okay, so I think, Tone, I think they've got to be, like you said, I think they've got to be way more creative on defense because you need 3 and outs on that side of the ball. You've got to win first down. You have to win first down.
Too often they've been losing first down. It's been a lot of
recently over the last 4 weeks, they've been losing first down. Yep. And I think that's because of the amount of passes and tight end success.
Yep. And then in the second half, all of a sudden, first down efficiency got better. So to your point, right? What do they need to do? I know a lot of people aren't really talking about this, but me and Rob brought this up earlier. I think DeAndre Swift has to get involved early. You got to get Swift involved early. Create another person that they have to account for. No matter what, they're always going to pay attention to AJ. They're always going to pay attention to Devontae Smith. They always will. But you have to create another option on that field that they legitimately have to game plan for and account for. I think they got to get the running game going almost immediately. You got to let them know the running game is a problem for them. So honestly, I would try. Hear me out on this. I would try to run at Hargrave and see if he improved. I would try to run at him and get my run game going. So, for example, right, my first series, I don't want to see pass. You know what I want to see? Depending on how you won't think I'm crazy, but I want to see run, RPO.
Me too.
That's what I want to see.
I think that's what keeps you in the game.
Because you have to.
And you nullified Fred.
Yes, you have to find a way to, because the thing about the Niners, they play fast and downhill. They're instinctual players. You have to find a way to do the same thing you did before. Freeze their instincts even for a fraction of a second. I think Jalen Hurts is getting healthier. I know. Typically, they say in NFL.
I think he looked healthy. I think he looked as healthy as he's looked in a bit in the Buffalo game. Yeah.
So again, I think on offense they had to find a way to get DeAndre Swift involved, which will make them then respect the RPO. And at that point, you have to get the ball into your playmakers' hands. You have to create space with the RPO, freeze them up, and win first down. If they're regularly in second and long, third and long, they're not going to win the game. They're just not going to win the game.
Tone, there's 2 points of what you're saying here. You got to win first down in offense, and you've got to win third down on defense.
Exactly.
Those are the 2 things that are.
Because here's the thing. I'm so glad you said that, because here's the thing, right? Listen, if we know it, they know it. Your defense has been on the field for north of 160 plays over the past 2 weeks. That's about 3 games worth of play.
Over the top. It is 3 games.
So when you think about it from that perspective, it's going to be so important for offense to sustain drives, and it's going to be so important for defense to get off the field on third down. Because if this happens again, if the defense is on the field for 70+ plays, they're going to be gassed by the time the fourth quarter comes. And
that is a great pull, Tone. Let me tell you something. If we see at the end of the game that thing's north of 75, we're going to know what was one of the – remember, then you'll know what I said about being worn out. That will be the determining factor.
Because it's true.
Talent. You'll be – get this. So we're talking about 160 plays, and say they play 75 plays, okay? You're talking about 235 plays,
yeah, 235
3
games.
games.
That's insane. That's insane. So again, you know, they have to if fatigue is the issue, which it will be,
That's my position.
You have to do everything possible to make sure it's not the issue, which in turn win third down on defense, win first down, and obviously they're a good third down team, but obviously win first down and win third down. You have to win those.
Gambling.
Yes, I'm taking risks. I'm taking risk on defense. Showing the side, what do you have to lose? I'm taking risk on defense. I'm sending all different. I'm blitzing safeties. I'm blitzing a corner. I'm taking risk on defense because I don't want him to I don't want him to know anywhere where the pass rush is coming from. I want him to guess every single time, and he's going to guess wrong.
Do you know that the Niners are number 1 in the NFL in points allowed?
For real?
Yeah.
You mean as far as like they allow the least amount of points?
15.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I was about to say, damn, wait, like I thought they were good. But anyway, no, yeah,
they're averaging it's the same as the Eagles, 28-2.
I hear.
They're fifth in points scored, and they're first in points allowed.
Okay. So, to your point, right? There was a moment in the season where the Dallas Cowboys were ranked second or third or first in points allowed, I think, and then they played us, and then we put up 28 points on them. When teams were only averaging 17 or 18 points or less than that, I think. So then they met us. You know what I mean? Like, you know what's so funny? All the stats, all the numbers, they're all good to talk about Monday through Saturday. But once Sunday come, you know what that is. I don't give a damn what your numbers say. You got to strap up and lace up against me, Playboy. I need to know what's up.
Are you saying these numbers don't mean anything here?
They show the trends. Like you always say, they show trends.
They do.
They show what you're capable of. They show what you're capable of against the guys prior to me. But what will you do against me though?
But I think that's different every week.
Exactly. So I think that's the mentality the Eagles have to have, right? You did all that against them. You playing us now. So perfect example, Cowboys. They were holding teams to less than 17 points a game before they played us. They played us. Eagles dropped 28. Also, the Cowboys offense
put 30 on them.
Exactly. The Cowboys offense, they were averaging 30 points a game against teams, for 35 points a game against teams. They played us, held them to 23. So trends, they're there to tell a story. But guess what? The Sundays, they end the chapter. So we're gonna have some fun on Sunday, man. Regardless of what goes down, we're gonna have some fun.
Have they released the injury report?
I've been checking for it. And I haven't quite seen it yet. I'm going to refresh the page. Let me see. Because I've been checking for it.
Because that's going to be a major, major conversation for Sunday on how this thing is going to be played out. And I think the direction, because I think your game plan.
All right, here we go. We got something.
Okay, here we go, folks. Breaking news. Here we go. Here's the injury report.
All right, so this is what I'll do. As a matter of fact, let's make this much easier for everybody involved. Let's do this. We're going to make sure that we all can see this to make sure we're all on the same page here, okay? So this is where we are. Injury report. Friday's injury report. This is where we are. So we got Fletcher Cox, groin, did not practice, but he's questionable. Zach Cunningham, hamstring, did not practice. He's out. Justin Evans, did not practice. Knee, out. Grant Calcaterra, limited, questionable. Dallas Goedert, forearm, limited, doubtful. Julio Jones, knee, limited. A.J. Brown, thigh, full practice. Jordan Davis, hamstring, full practice. Lane Johnson, groin, full practice. Devontae Smith, knee, full practice. DeAndre Swift, ankle, full practice. Milton Williams, concussion, full practice. So Fletcher Cox is going to be a game time decision. That's what that tells me.
And you see, you know what those lines mean. Go up a little higher.
Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. No, I want to see those lines. They didn't list.
Okay, here it is. The line. Here it is right here. Not listed.
Yeah.
Not listed. That's what that means. Okay.
Not listed. Okay, good.
Not listed.
Good. Okay, so, because sometimes there'll be notes.
Right. Exactly.
That you'll have on that side of the injury report. So
this is where we are on Friday. Fletcher Cox, he's questionable. So I think this is going to be one of those Lane situations. How does he feel on game day? If he feels good, he laces up. If not, hey, listen, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, it's time for y'all to prove why y'all the future.
So Lane's playing. If I have a right tackle that has a groin injury and he's a fatigued guy right now, what would be the number one thing that I would try to accomplish? What's better on a groin is run blocking. Run blocking helps a guy like Lane more than pass protection, not sliding the front. So what you're going to have to get from Kelsey's got to look out for him. So when he makes his line calls, if I were the 49ers and I were Steve Wilkes, I would put as many people like Chase Young and as many people as I can to run him wide and put him in a wide 9 to try to get him out on third. That's why we just said this, Tone. If for you to be successful and to protect Lane, you have got to win first down, because what you'll do with Lane coming off of a groin injury and still nursing a groin injury, you'll put him in a wide 7 or 9 and you will run games off him. You might even put Boza and Young on him, knowing full well you don't have Dallas Goedert yet. Okay, so you'll see if that kid can pick him up, and Cam Jurgens, and you'll test the injury out right away. So you got to win first down. You got to protect him. Jason's excellent at it. This is part of the game plan too, Tone. You see, you got injured guys. If you want to win the game, okay, you could take that down now if you want.
I got you.
Hey, if you want to win the game, Tone, what you also have to do is protect your guys.
Agreed.
And does that limit now your game plan?
Actually, I'm willing to argue it leans more so into what our strengths are, because too often
you're saying this, it could actually force you into doing
what you're supposed to do
that you don't want to do, that you're best at.
Exactly. See, here, I ain't gonna lie, this has been my problem with the Philadelphia Eagles over the past couple seasons, right? They've been dominant, they've been talented, but why are we trying so hard to just be us? Be us. We're a physical team. We run the ball. We got the RPO going. Be us.
Because they think Jalen can be more than what he was
and I think he can as well.
They believe that he's going to be like Russell Wilson.
And I think he is too. I think he can be just as good as well, if not better. But the thing is, though, I feel like they're not mixing it in as much. I feel like they're trying too hard to lean one way instead of okay, put it this way. Instead of an
experienced coordinator.
Instead of expanding it, I feel like they're trying to just change it. And it's like, no, like you can still do the RPO thing and still have him drop back and deliver from the pocket. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like, because what happens is that RPO keeps defenses off balance. You force them to make you turn the whole defense into decision makers. You force them to go laterally instead of going forward the way they want to. You play with their vision. You play with their eyes. This offense can be so much more creative and dynamic if they really weaved in the RPO a lot better with what they're trying to grow into.
Who has the advantage in coaching on Sunday?
Unfortunately, as much as I hate to say this, Kyle, okay, I put it this way. Kyle Shanahan has the advantage from a play calling perspective.
And health.
But oh yeah, well, I mean, yeah, but we're talking about their coaching, right? So
okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so
we'll just hang there.
But yes, from a play calling perspective, Kyle Shanahan has the advantage for sure. But from a game management perspective, I'm giving it to Nick Sirianni. And I can't help but remember, you know how you always talk about that
so you
that
give him credit for Jalen's game management.
Do I give Sirianni credit for Jalen's game management?
Why would you do that?
No. I'm talking about managing situations. So for example, right? Perfect example. Remember the catch Devontae Smith caught last year in the playoffs? And obviously it wasn't a catch. We all knew that. But it was called a catch.
That's on the refs, not the Eagles.
Not just the refs. Kyle Shanahan could have threw the flag. He could have challenged it. He decided not to. There are just moments in Kyle Shanahan's career where he's so locked in on the play calling and the offense, he's not reading the game, and he's mismanaging timeouts, or he's not challenging things that should be challenged.
I think he's overhyped.
I don't trust him in certain situations. So, like, again, he's a boy wonder. He's smart as hell. But when things get tight and he has to become a decision maker in terms of reading a situation, I trust Nick Sirianni more.
A lot of nepotism there, though.
Hey, listen, you said it, not me.
I just think I look at him and every time it seems to be nut cutting time. Super Bowl twice, NFC title game. You know, that whole thing. Let me tell you what I look at that when Reddick kicked Purdy last year in the NFC.
Perfect example. There's no way you let that happen.
Yeah, you know how you let it happen? Is because you're so focused on getting guys open that you're not respecting the opposing team's talents and how hot a guy is or what a guy is about. And knowing that guy was coming, that guy came on like a thunderbolt from week 8 on. And when he got into the postseason, he was a missile.
It didn't stop.
And you let that guy come off the corner like that, that was totally coaching. That was a miscalculation of you let the best pass rusher. Did you see that game last night, the end of the game when the Seahawks?
I'm so glad you brought that up.
And the Seahawks let Micah Parsons unblocked, and
I'm gonna
he
be honest.
hit him.
I think this.
You know what I thought of? I thought of Reddick. I was like this. Right there is a fundamental problem that you have with coordinators sometimes, that they get so over their skis that you let the best pass rushers in the NFL and you leave them unblocked.
You know what I would have did if I was them?
Why would you have done? I would have rolled them at least.
You know, I would have either did that, or you know what I would have. You know what I would have did? I would have went max protect, and I'm trusting. I would have went max protection, and I'm trusting my 2 best receivers to get open.
DK was killing them.
DK was killing Bland. I'm going max protection, and I'm trusting my 2 or 3 best receivers to get open. Simple. Because you need that 4th down. All you need is one guy to get light. Just get daylight. DK was cooking them. But no. But that's the problem sometimes with certain these coaches, man. Like they fall so in love
Kyle
with
Shanahan and what that coordinator did last night. When I watched that final play, I'm like, so you let Micah Parsons loose?
There's no way you do.
He went no pad, no chip, no nothing. You just let him run at you. What would you expect? That was a freebie.
That was the easiest pass rush of the day for him. The easiest.
Dude, that was the easiest pass rush since I saw Michael Strahan tap Brett Favre on the hat to break the record for the all-time single-season sack record. I mean, that was that right.
It was obnoxious. It was obnoxious.
That's
it was
coaching.
Obnoxious. Yes, and those are the moments I look at Kyle Shanahan like you're this boy wonder, but you have these quirks about you that I can't trust.
That Super Bowl, did you see him go nut up and when they were up 28-0? All of a sudden, the 3-and-out started coming. Brady started making plays. Edelman across the middle. When Edelman caught that pass across the middle, it was 28-7. I said, no. And then it got 28-7, 14. I said, they're going to win this thing. Because you know what they did? 3-and-out, 3-and-out, 3-and-out. He is so conservative. I'm going to tell you something that I think this could play out in this game as well. And you know what Jalen can do? Dude, like you said, if they're down 7 in the 4th, you're going to win it, because I don't think Shanahan
gets tight.
Knows how to manage that clock well enough.
He gets tight.
At the end of games, he's too tight.
Think about this, right? In all their games
he'll be annihilated if he has the lead going into the 4th and against a wounded duck. That whole wounded team comes back and beats you. Get this. The narrative will be Shanahan is overrated. Unfortunately, that plays against Philly. But I'm going to tell you, dude, that guy in tight situations doesn't have an experienced quarterback like Hurts. You know why Hurts can get over some of Sirianni's conservative play calling, like the Super Bowl or some of the games where he walks off the field? Is because Hurts' mentality. I think Hurts' mentality is wearing off on Nick, actually, not the vice versa. I don't think Nick Sirianni's instilled anything, any kind of confidence in Jalen Hurts. He was put in that starting role by Howie. He was drafted by Howie. That offense is built around him by Howie. And that's why his confidence, the organization has confidence in Jalen Hurts. Nick's coming along for a ride.
Here's the thing, right? Kyle Shanahan, what's his record when his team is either tied down by 8 or more? What's his record in the fourth quarter?
Brutal. Like 3-29 or some shit. Hey,
I'm gonna find this.
He doesn't have a very good record when he's got to come.
Listen to this. Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers are 0-36 when trailing by 8 or more points in the fourth quarter.
You get them in the fourth.
That includes the regular season and the playoffs. Do you think that's an accident? That's a trend. That's a trend.
No, that's who you are.
That's who you are. That tells me you have no clutch or comeback gene in your body.
0-36.
0-36 when down by 8 or more. That's only a touchdown.
That's not my head coach. I can't.
But I'm supposed to.
That's
but I'm supposed to think.
Shit.
Which is why, think about their games all year, right? Real quick before we get out of here. Think about their games all year. They either blow you out or they lose. Think about that. They either blow you out or they lose. I tell you this right now, they're not blowing Philly out on Sunday.
36.
You think Jalen Hurts letting them get blown out?
No.
Hell no.
That's why I said 25-22.
The Niners either blow you out or they lose. It's no in between. The Cowboys, either they blow you out or they lose. It's no in between. How can I trust that?
Can't. I can't trust you late.
Can't.
I can't trust you late in games.
I can't trust you late.
The sphincter muscle tightens up, dog. You know what? Like that. If sphincter muscle, man, I can't get a nail through that sumbitch. I'm looking in that thing in there, man. I can't drive a nail in that thing.
Wait, so
holy cow, this guy's playing a swinette and I can't get a nail in the sphincter. What's up with that?
What's your prediction for this game again?
25-22 49ers.
25-22.
What do you got?
I got Eagles winning 28-27. 28-27. It's going to be a battle.
Will it be a last possession game?
Yes. I got the Eagles.
Wait a minute. So you got Hurts wearing a cape at the end of the game.
I got Hurts driving down the field for a game. All right, so listen to this. The Eagles are going to be down 21-27 in fourth quarter. They're going to be down 21-27. I got Jalen Hurts driving for a game-winning touchdown drive. They win 28-27.
Holy, you got this guy with a Superman cape on. This guy's going to be too.
Hey, listen. Clark Kent is nowhere to be found, baby. Clark Kent is nowhere to be found.
This guy's going to pull his cape off. He's going to put his helmet on. He's going to just stroll out there, and he's going to look around like Joe Montana did in the Super Bowl and go, hey, look, there's Bradley Cooper. Let's go score a touchdown. You know, that's what Montana did, right?
Hey, listen, Sills.
You ever hear the story? It goes like this. Everybody was all nervous in the Super Bowl, and they were down on a last-minute drive with 1:42 left in the game. Everyone was all nervous. They got a legal procedure penalty. They're back 90 yards away from pay dirt with 1:38. Montana sitting there right before the TV came back, and John Candy was standing on the sidelines, and Montana looks over at his entire unit and goes, hey, look at that. There's John Candy. 1:30 left in the game. Takes the team down to win the 4th Super Bowl.
What? that's like Jalen Hurts saying, oh, shoot, it's Will Smith. All right, let's go. Hike.
You know who he hit? He hit Queez Watkins. He hit this guy, John Taylor. He didn't hit Rice for the game winner.
Right. That was that his first Super Bowl or his second?
That was his 4th.
Oh, his 4th. My bad. That's his 4th. Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to hear something about Montana in Super Bowls? Montana was 135 quarterback ranking, 13 touchdowns and no picks.
That's insane. That's dominance right there. Listen, Sills, let me tell you this real quick. Let me tell you this, right? You know, I go hard for the Eagles so much because I'm gonna be honest with you. The Eagles do a hell of a job with their media team. Their YouTube programming. When the show's over, I'm gonna send you something.
Okay.
And I just want you to watch it.
Okay.
Because you're gonna understand why you feel why I feel the way I feel the way I feel about them.
Honey, I know why you love your Eagles. You're a Philly guy.
It's more than that, though. The way they craft, the way the Philadelphia Eagles media team, the way they craft narratives and like it's like a 15-minute video. That's all. I'm going to send it to you.
Do you think this is a breakout game for Hurts on Sunday?
I think
not a breakout game, but
not a breakout. But I think he plays a clean game. I think he plays a clean game. I actually think he won't.
It's a statement game that people were going to remember this thing by, like you did in that Bills drive.
Oh yeah. Definitely, it'll be the fourth. Well, I don't know if you count. Yeah, it'll be the fourth statement game in a row. So, yeah, I think so.
It sells it's 4 in a row. What do you come? I'm losing count here. I'm losing count. Tone, great stuff, man. I mean,
definitely.
So what you have 28-27.
28-27. Lock me in with that. 28-27. The Eagles are going to be down 21-27 going into the fourth. Jalen Hurts leads a game-winning drive.
Oh, how much time on the clock? Let me guess. 18 seconds?
Nah, that's too low. No, that's too low.
Minute 14?
He's gonna have.
Will it be under the 2-minute warning? Or over the 2-minute warning?
It'll be at the 2 minute and 30-second mark around there.
Right before the 2-minute warning.
They're going to have the 2-minute warning. They're going to have 2 timeouts. They're going to have 2 timeouts and a 2-minute warning.
Holy shit! You've envisioned this already. You must have dreamed this on Monday.
It's called manifestation, baby. Manifestation.
Dream it, think it, will it. That's
Jordan
where you are, right?
I'm Jordan Belfort, baby.
And by the way, that guy Blaine got exposed last night.
It started with Devontae Smith.
I think that defense got exposed last night. It started
with Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith smoked his ass when they played him.
Man, I think that guy's in for a little bit of a tough game next week against the Eagles. Tone, great stuff as always, man.
Yes, sir, man. I'm going to send you that video when we get off, man. I want you to watch it. I want you to watch it, and then we'll talk about it. All right.
Can't wait. This is going to be a lot of fun, friends. I cannot wait for this here, man. Hey, our good friends, the month of December is here. Happy holidays to everybody. We look forward to you going to all of our favorite places at Hooters, from Rhode Island all the way down through New Jersey, down through King of Prussia. We so thank you guys. Again, all the great specials that we have, lunch specials Monday through Friday, 11:30 to 3 p.m. Happy hours Monday through Friday, 4 to 6. $6, 6 items. Try the fried pickles. Military Mondays, 20% off. Wing Wednesdays, $19.83. Kids eat for free on Saturdays. Just a great time. Watch your favorite football. College football tonight, too, by the way. And also your NFL football on Sundays and Monday. We so appreciate everybody there. NortheastTutors.com. That's NortheastTutors.com. Philly Godfather, baby. 5:30 Eastern. How you doing? Keep
Football and Hooters, the